Hey guys, my name is Max. So for those of you who don't know me already, I'm a filmmaker from Quebec, Canada. So for the last 4 years, I've been doing a lot of travel videos, corp videos, ads, stuff like that. So I wanted to show you today, in the last 4 years, what stuff I usually keep in my bag. Some stuff went in the bag, some stuff went out of the bag. I've been buying a lot of stuff, a lot of new lenses, a lot of new equipment. But one thing that is not getting bigger is the bag that I'm using. So I really stripped it down to the strict minimal, and I wanted to show you what I was bringing with me on shoots. I got some Pelican cases too, but that I won't show because it's more like accessories and mostly audio stuff that I bring on bigger productions. But I want to show you what I was bringing on smaller productions or just when I'm going out shooting with friends or for fun. So let's get into it. So the bag that I'm using is the Lowy Pro 450. It's been my go-to bag for at least 2 years. I had the 350 AW before that, but it got so small so fast that I needed to change it. So let's start with the camera. My main camera, my main rig is what I'm filming on right now. So let me show you. That's the A7SIII. I've been using it for the past 6 months. It's been quite the camera. It got everything you need. It got 4K 24, 4K 120. It can take CF Express cards. You got the tilt out screen, all day battery, 10-bit 422 in a lot of codecs. It's awesome. For video work, it's the best camera you can get right now, in my opinion. It got the EVF2, so RIP FX3. I think it's the best video cam you can get right now. I mean, the A1 is quite the beast too, but I'm not sure the 8K is really needed right now. The A7SIII is like half the price and it gives you so much in a small body like that. So next thing in my bag is the A7 III, which has been my go-to camera for the past 2 years before I had the A7S III. It's not my B cam in my bag. I'm thinking about changing it to another A7S III, so stay tuned for that, maybe soon. But it's been quite the camera. I mean, it got all the specs you need if you want to start out in video. It got the 24 megapixel sensor. The autofocus is crazy good. It got IAF. It got all the battery. I mean, I couldn't be happier with the camera. It leveled up my game from here to here in like a year. And the A7 IV is right around the corner, so maybe you'll want to wait for that one if you want 10-bit video or something like that. But if you had your eye on the A7 III, when the A7 IV will be out, there'll be like lots of sales on that one. So just before I show my next item in my bag, be sure to like that video if you like it already and subscribe to my channel. It does a huge difference. It helps a lot. If you like it, thumbs up, subscribe. Let's continue. So next thing in my bag is the Sony 16-35mm G Master 2.8. I mean, this lens has been stuck on my camera for the past year, and it's been really hard for me to change lens. I mean, I bought some prime lenses because I think they look better overall, the quality is better, but it's such a pain in the to always change lenses on set. You need to be prepared if you do that. If I only had 2 lenses to have, that would be the 16-35 G Master and the 85mm 1.8. Which brings me to my next item in my bag, the 85mm 1.8 from Sony. That is the best lens you can get for under $1,000 in my opinion. This lens is just as sharp and as good looking as the GM, which is a steal. I mean, if you look on YouTube, everybody who tried that lens against the GM will tell you that the difference is so minimal that you'll have to go with that one. It's so good. It's the first lens I bought, first lens ever. I had it on my camera for the first year I was doing photography, and I did everything with that lens. I did landscapes. How did I do that? I did landscapes with that lens. I did portrait. I did weddings. I did everything with that lens. And it's been such a money maker. I did a lot of shoots lately that required a telephoto like that, and it just looks so good. It's crazy. The only downside of that lens is that if you're in a closed space, closed environment, it's really tight. I mean, if you're shooting inside, if you're shooting if you're doing portraits or stuff like that inside, that lens can be very limiting. So I would stay away from that lens if you're always shooting inside. So the next lens I have in my bag all the time is the 7200 f4. Not the G Master one, is the f4 is the G lens. I think that paired with the A7S III, the f4 is more than enough. You do not need the 2.8. The 2.8 is so huge and so heavy, and I prefer having a smaller lens, lighter lens in my bag, not having something that weighs like 3 pounds. I do not need to add more weight, so I'll stick with the f4. It's sharp, it's good looking. The range is awesome on that one, and yeah, I loved it a lot and I still use it a lot. So the next one is the 35mm 1.8, which is on my camera right now. This is what I'm filming on right now. So why I'm using the 35 1.8 paired with the 1635? Why do I have two 35mm? I think it's great to have like a 35 prime for low light environments, like when it's really dark, or when I'm on higher productions where the image quality is key. I prefer using prime lenses over zoom lenses when I have the time and when I have the preparation. But most of the time the 1635 will be my go-to lens for run and gun situations. So next thing in my bag, and I'm pretty sure you have figured out what it is right now, it's the Mavic Air 2. It's my favorite drone of all time. It's so small. It got OcuSync 2.0. It's so easy to use. The battery is good. The camera is good. I don't know what to say about that. It's good. The Wi-Fi signal on the Air 1 was terrible. When I was in Costa Rica, I was shooting with my friends. They both had the Mavic, like one had the Mavic 2 Zoom and the other one had the Mavic Pro 1st gen. And my signal was always cutting down. And one thing I discovered over there is that happened when one of my friends started his drone. So I don't know if there was kind of a signal mix or something like that, but the Mavic Air 1 was just acting so weird around other drones. I just had to change it because it was a nightmare. The next thing in my bag is something that I used to use a lot on shoots, and I'm leaning towards keeping it more in my bag than out of the bag right now. I'm using it like for 2 or 3 shots per video, not more than that. And it's the Ronin RSC2. And because I'm using an A7S III with a cage where I can remove accessories, it's really the perfect gimbal for me. It's small, it's light, and I can balance my A7S III with my Matbox on it, and it's just perfect. So next thing I'm using, and I didn't even have the chance to use it on a production yet, are the Rode Wireless Go 2, which is the upgrade to my old Wireless Go. I had the chance to use the Go, the 1st gen of the Go, on a lot of shoots, and they were really great. I love them a lot, but the Go 2 just solves so many of the problems of the 1st gen. I mean, it got internal recording, you have like better audio on it, you have gain, like fine tuning for the gain, which is something that we didn't have on the one. The major appeal of the Go 2 over the Go 1st gen is the fact that you have 2 transmitters that compare to 1 receiver already in the box. So for the past year and a half, I think, I've been using the Peter McKinnon variable ND, which is that one. I had that thing with me like in 2 or 3 travels, I think, and it's awesome for traveling. But I only had the 2 to 5 stop, and I really needed a 6 to 9. So I ended up buying something more professional looking, and that is the Polar Pro Basecamp Matbox. And it is awesome. Let me tell you, this thing is awesome. You have like rings that you put on your lens, and you can have rings on all your lenses. So you can really quickly change the Matbox from one lens to the other, and you can quickly change your filters too. So instead of unscrewing the ND filter and having to have step-up rings and stuff like that on every lens, so that one you have your adapters on every lens, and you can change the filter like in a second. It's crazy. So you can take your 2 to 5, quickly put it in there, tighten the screw, and there you go. You have your 2 to 5 in. It looks really professional, and in a world where the video cams are getting smaller and smaller, like the A7S III. It really looks like a photo camera. So clients sometimes are just like, whoa, I got a camera that looks just like that. It can be a little weird for them to see such a small camera on a like bigger productions. So I think the Matbox just brings a level up of confidence from the client. And you can just remove the top box and just keep the core. So you can put it on a gimbal or something like that. So I think the versatility of that system and the way it looks is just perfect for my needs. The next thing in my bag is something that I use mostly on travel too. It is the Rode Video Go NTG. It is the latest of shotgun mics from Rode, and I mean, I just love it. It works. I don't know what to say anymore about that. It just works. It's cool. I bought that dead cat over here, which goes right on top of it. So when it's windy outside, you don't hear the in the videos. It acts like a good pop filter too. So always keeping it on there. So yeah, that comes with me everywhere. But on higher productions, you know that you cannot use only a shotgun mic or a wireless Go 2. In some occasions, you need some higher end audio. And that's why I always keep in my bag the Rode NTG5. That is the location kit. I mean, I've used it a couple times now, and I have a pole which I put it on, so it just comes right over the head of the people I interview, and the sound is just great. It's awesome. But you really need to have something like the Zoom H4 with it so it can work. It needs phantom power. This one has been really great as of right now, and yeah, sounds great. And one thing I haven't been using a lot in the last year is my GoPro Hero 8. It's always in my bag too, but it always ends up like dead because I'm really not using it. I don't think about it a lot. But one thing I'm using quite sometimes, and it's really cheap and something you should get, is some macro tubes. All right, those are awesome. I mean, it can get any lens into a macro lens, and I know it's not like having a real macro lens, but it gets the job done, and it's like $40, so why not? The other thing I wanted to talk about is my Atomos Ninja 5, which I just bought too. I mean, it's a great monitor. I don't use ProRes RAW on my camera though. I really use XTVC All-I. The ProRes RAW, I think it's too much of a hassle to denoise every shot you take, lens correct every shot, because there's nothing done inside the camera in ProRes RAW. You have to denoise every shot with something like Neat Video, which is really taxing on the computer. And I had the Atomos Shinobi before that, so it brings me to my last accessories I have right now, which is the Holyland 400S Pro. That's the thing here, all right? That thing wirelessly transmit the image from my camera to that monitor, and you can see we did a little setup over here for the clients, so when they're in shoot they can see what we are filming. I mean, the range is awesome. It's like 120 meters I think, and didn't have a single drop frame when we were using it. No lag, nothing like that, except once in the cold it just crashed, didn't want to open anymore, but I think it was more cold related. It was really cold outside, and it just brings your production value up. When you show up to a client shoot and you give them a monitor to see what you're doing on set, it's so professional. I mean, people will see that and be like, oh, they are a real professional, they know what they're doing, and you just take them and make part of the shoot too. They're not just standing in the corner looking at what you're doing or trying to see over your shoulder on your screen what you're filming. Take your old monitor, put it on there, buy a new monitor like the Ninja 5. It'll cost you around like $1,500 all in all. That's one move I made, and I'm really proud of, and I'm sure that'll be worth it in the end. So yeah, the last thing I have in my bag when I'm on shoot is a set of Allen key. I cannot tell you how much I've used that. I think that is the item I've used the most in my bag, except for my camera, yeah. But that thing for removing accessories, putting accessories, hand jamming something, you need that. Just a set of Allen key, just like that. You put it in a pocket, it'll be a lifesaver. And gaff tape too. Bring gaff tape all the time. So Allen key, gaff tape, last two must have accessories. You gotta have that. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps a lot, like I told you before. And let's see you guys in the next one. Cheers, guys. So just wanted to make a little vlog here, but since I ended up filming the video, I made some errands and I ended up upgrading some of my stuff. So I sold my A7 III and I bought the FX3 right here, and I sold my 7200 and I bought the 100-400 G Master. So that'll be for next video, so subscribe and stay tuned. There'll be video on that.